Ignorance is hard to overrule. It's hard to overrule. Ignorance. You start voting and you try to start figuring out who got some sense. And as you start voting, pulling all the ballots in, counting it all up, just like the Florida debacle some years ago, you start to realize that ignorance is hard to overrule. People gonna be ignorant no matter what. It's like they will break their neck, back, your neck, and your back just to remain ignorant. Just so that they can have a title. I'm ignorant. Ignorant is hard to overrule. I know it seems like some people plan on being ignorant. Like it's an art, like it's a skill, like it's a craft. They plan on being ignorant. Ignorant is hard to overrule. You sit down and say, hey, who want to be civilized and, and follow Motell Granite's Accountability Act? Only a couple of hands go up inside the forum. Then you, man, who want to be ignorant? Who want to be ridiculous and a downright dumbass and hands is flying up all over? Me. Ignorance is hard to overrule. Man, it's hard to overrule it. Your next door neighbor, ignorant. Your spouse, ignorant. Your kids, ignorant. Your uncles and aunties, ignorant. Your parents, you got it. It's ridiculous. It's hard to overrule, though. It's real hard to overrule. Sat down and tried to do the math and said, man, why don't I try to be a civilized person, a responsible, upright citizen? Man, you'll get your ass whooped. I'm telling you. Ignorance is going to be like, no, you didn't. Ignorance is at the jobs. Ignorance is on the street corners. Ignorance is in your house. Ignorance is at the boys' club. Ignorance is at the Ku Klux Klan rally. Ignorance is at the rainbow flag swinging convention. Ignorance is everywhere. It's in the classrooms, administration, football field, basketball court, tennis court, golf course, hockey, modeling. Ignorance. It runs rampant. It runs so rampant that the devil blush, like tickled at the fact that so much damage is being done just by using ignorance. It starts with the letter I. I. The letter I is what it starts with. Ignorance. Ignorance is hard to overrule. Yeah, it's one of the main catalysts for racism. Ignorance. Ignorance is something that kids claim to have when they don't know no better. Ignorance is what somebody claimed when they drank the last of the Kool-Aid and didn't want to admit to it. and just laid the unfilled canister inside of the sink with the dried up red Kool-Aid still inside of it. Didn't even have the common sense to even rinse the damn thing out a little bit. Let alone use soap and water to make sure that it's clean, along with other pots and pans of the food that you ate, that your mama or somebody else cooked. Ignorance. When your room is junky. Ignorance is when you feel like your parents are supposed to pay the rent and get the fuck out. Why are you saying something to me? Ignorance. How you owe me a new bike? I owe you shit. Ignorance. Ignorance feels obligated. 40 acres and a mule. Ignorant. You think somebody gonna give you 40 acres and a mule? Ignorant. You kidding yourself. I'm not gonna let you kid me though. You kidding yourself. Ignorance. Ignorance is hard to overrule. Go inside of a basketball arena, a stadium full of people waiting for a concert to begin. Ignorance. $8, $10 for a beer. Ignorance. All the money that it takes to have a date that it costs, they charge you so much money, they smart, but yet they ignorant. Ignorance is creating the word income tax. Ignorant. Ignorant taxing people. Ignorant taxing the poor and leaving the rich alone. Ignorant. Ignorant charging, allowing somebody to receive $8 for minimum wage. Ignorant. Ignorant is going to somebody's house and always trying to eat up their barbecue. Ignorant. Ignorant is not knowing that somebody that doesn't make any money and you're going to talk down on the fact whether you making 50 or 60,000 and try and spit on somebody that's making 20 some thousand or 30,000. Oh, there's only 30,000. Come on, man. Ignorant. Ignorance is running rampant. And ignorance is hard to overrule. Try to take a vote and see if you can overrule it. Try it. Ignorance is hard to overrule. It's easier to stop racism. Ignorance is hard to overrule.